Well, I got a chance to work out today for the first time in 2 weeks, and no problem. Everything works fine. I tell you though, I can tell you I should have probably been stretching. That's probably one of the things takeaways from that. So you got to have a mandatory inactive, no strenuous workouts. At least do some stretching. That's good advice from now on for other people. Or hopefully I won't have to be in that situation again. Got to thinking about expectations. When you ever notice that people that are incongruent, I'm thinking of a sales manager I had at one time. It was like buddy until we didn't make quota. Then he was like ugly. He was hard and he was harsh and mean. Because he looked bad. He took it out. I remember in the military, they'd always say, the advice was the training was to praise in public, reprimand in private. And I thought that was always pretty smart, actually. You just could sit down with somebody calmly and tell them, get in their dish, rather than, do it in front of everybody. Then they get that everybody else looks at them, puts that negative on them. And then if you don't do that, if you just do it in, one-on-one, and then they become, they start focusing on just pleasing you, getting you off their back, not having to deal with everybody else all the time. But the positive expectations, like the Pygmalion effect, like the movie Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd, that was, talking about environment can change people, but it's really more than the environment. It's actually, you can get somebody to perform with positive expectations. I had a track coach, Mr. Swanson, was a master at that. I had Fred Fritsch in the SEAL teams, did that frequently. That was very common. I'd see people that I would do it. I remember doing it, stumbling on that with teaching kids how to box, and you can do it, or just when they did it right, just jump on that, get excited, and then they start doing everything else right. Yeah, when you're always beating them up with what they're not doing right, that's all that's on their mind, and even if they're trying to make a new habit, it's harder because they're always thinking about their bad habit, because you're always pointing it out. It's better to point out, mostly if they did it right, or just be positive expectation, talk to them as if they did it right, or if they're good at, when they do it like they're supposed to, this is what's going to happen, this is the result they're going to get, and it works. It works. All right. So, I'm going to practice what I preach.